Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज कथार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की Iskcon founder Acharya, BBT founder Acharya, Jagat Guru, Savior of the whole world, Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki, Harinam Sankirtan Mahayagna ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke 78 Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, text number 17 and 18. What is there on the verse? Chapter? 17. Kastam swayam tad abhigno vipaschid. Kastam swayam tad abhigno vipaschid. Avidyayam antare vartamanam. Avidyayam antare vartamanam. Drishtva punastam sangrana kubuddhim. Drishtva punastam sangrana kubuddhim. Prayojayet uptatagham atyathandam. Prayojayet utpathagam yathandam. Kastam swayam tad abhigno vipaschit. Kastam swayam tad abhigno vipaschit. Avidyayam antare vartamanam. Avidyayam antare vartamanam. Drishtva punastam sangranaha kubuddhim. दृष्ट्वा पुनस्तं संग्रहः कुबुद्धिं प्रयोजयेत् उत्पतघं यथान्धम्. Translation: if someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in the fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on this way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. 18. Gururna sasyat svajano sasyat. Gururna sasyat svajano sasyat. Pitana sasyat janani sasyat. Pitana sasyat janani sasyat. Daivam na tatsyan na patischa sasasyan. Daivam na tatsyan na patischa sasyan. Namo chayedya sampute mrutyum. Namo chayedya samupeta mrutyum. Gurur na sasyat svajano na sasyat. Pita na sasyat janani na sasyat. Daivam na tatsyan na patischa sasyan. Namo chayedya samupeta mrutyam. Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Guruhu, a spiritual master. Na, not. Sa, he. Syat, should become. Swajanaha, a relative. Na, not. Saha, such a person. Syat, should become. Pita, a father. Na, not. Saha, he. Syat, should become. Janani, a mother. Na, sa, syat, should become. Daivam, the worshipable deity. Na, not. Tat, that. Syat, should become. Na, not. Patihi, a husband. Cha, also. Saha, he. Syat, should become. Na, not. Mochayet, can deliver. Ya, who samupeta mrutyam, one who's on the path of repeated birth and death. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, or a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Purport: there are many spiritual masters, but Rishabhadeva advises that one should not become a spiritual master if he is unable to save his disciple from the path of birth and death. Unless one is a pure devotee of Krishna, he cannot save himself from the path of repeated birth and death. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. One should stop birth and death only by returning home back to Godhead. However, who can go back to Godhead unless he understands the Supreme Lord in truth? Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. We have many instances in history illustrating Rishabhadeva's instructions. Shukracharya was rejected by Bali Maharaj due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Shukracharya was not a pure devotee, but he was more or less inclined to fruitive activity, and he objected when Bali Maharaj promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu. Actually, one is supposed to give everything to the Lord because everything belongs to the Lord. Consequently, the Supreme Lord advises in the Bhagavad Gita 9:27, Yat karosi yad asnasi yad juhosi tadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya na kurushva madarpanam. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. This is bhakti. Unless one is devoted, he cannot give everything to the Supreme Lord. Unless one can do so, he cannot become a spiritual master, husband, father, or mother. Similarly, the wives of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices gave up their relatives just to satisfy Krishna. This is an example of a wife rejecting the husband who cannot deliver her from the impending dangers of birth and death. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father, Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother, Janani Nasasyat. The word Daivam indicates a demigod or one who accepts worship from a dependent. Ordinarily, the spiritual master, husband, father, mother, or superior relative accepts worship from an inferior relative. But here Rishabhadeva forbids that. First, the father, spiritual master, husband must be able to release the dependent from repeated birth and death. If he cannot do this, he plunges himself into the ocean of reproachment for his unlawful activities. Everyone should be very responsible and take charge of his dependents, just as a spiritual master takes charge of his disciple or a father takes charge of his son. All these responsibilities cannot be discharged honestly unless one can save the dependent from repeated birth and death. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Yakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Apitam Yena Bhutale Namrupa Mahyam Tvadapi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurom Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Please repeat after me. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum gangayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So to become a father or a mother or a guru or a teacher is a very, very big responsibility. It is not just a biological function. Somebody becomes a father after he gets married, and somebody becomes a mother once they get married. It is a responsibility. It is a duty. It is a it is a it is a very sacred, important duty of someone who becomes a mother or a father, and definitely someone who becomes a guru. And then a person who is not willing to liberate their followers should not even become a devata, demigod. All these are very dangerous activities. If someone becomes, then obviously he is unqualified. So he is not worthy of becoming. So that would be like an animalistic procreation, simply physically producing children who are of no, who neither have a vision or a plan or even knowledge about what should be the goal of life. So this is a very, very famous verse. Prabhupada used to quote this repeatedly. He went to the West and said, practically everybody is leading an animalistic life, simply getting married and producing children without any sense of understanding or responsibility. An Atma comes into the body with great hope, generally with great hope that my parents will do something to help me further my attachment for Krishna, progress spiritually. So every Atma comes into this body with that, comes into this world with some kind of a hope, some idea, some desire that their parents, if not their parents, at least their father, mother, if not their parents, at least the guru will take them closer to Krishna, will teach them about Krishna, will teach them about life where one does not have to grow old, diseased, or die. That such a life exists. A life where one does not have to suffer, grow old, diseased, or die. Such a life actually exists at the lotus feet of Krishna. At least the Atma comes into this body, into the world with the hope that parents will teach something like that. Atato Brahma Jignasa. At least the children, the child in the womb will hope that parents will instill a sense of curiosity as to what's happening in this world, who is God, who is Who am I? Where do I come from? But in the absence of any such knowledge being imparted, then the child becomes completely misdirected. Um, like the father, like the parents, becomes very, like it is said here, addicted to samsara, addicted to the world of dualities. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are not. Sometimes we suffer, sometimes we're okay, okay. Sometimes we get cheated, sometimes we cheat. Sometimes we are betrayed, sometimes we betray. So it's a whole world of duality. Sometimes we make profit, sometimes we lose. Sometimes we pass, sometimes we fail. So, so we become more and more entangled in the world of duality. Now, what happens when we get into the world of duality is our desire or our determination to succeed will increase. Succeed means succeed in the world of duality because we have no idea that at the lotus feet of Krishna, there is a life without pain, without suffering, without defeat, without old age, without disease, without death. There is a life there. We have no idea. Nobody tells us. And hence we think that this world is everything for us. This world is everything. This country is everything. My parents, like that. But actually nowadays, Kali Yuga is advancing. Nobody cares for their parents or country or anything. They care just for themselves. So we are becoming extremely selfish, extremely selfish. And selfishness beyond a point is very destructive. If you become extremely selfish, then it's difficult to be loyal to anything or anybody. There is no such thing as friendship, no such thing as loyalty, chastity, anything. We're so much attached to ourselves and our our own, within our limited scope of understanding, our own, whatever we think is good for us. But then we have no idea that there is a Atma sitting inside this body, and Atma's interests are expressed always, but we tend to misread. We don't understand carefully. We don't, because we don't know how to hear the voice of Paramatma or anything. So we tend to misread, we tend to misjudge. And we think that maybe Atma is also, I mean, okay, maybe there's something called Atma, but Atma's interest is no different from that of the body. And hence, the Atma and the body join together and try something in this world of samsara, world of duality, world of death, world of pain, world of suffering, etc. So we end up with a whole world of unsatisfied, dissatisfied, disgruntled, desperate living entities. That's what we are seeing today. In the absence of any knowledge, true knowledge about God. Actually, knowledge about God comes way down the line. Knowledge about ourselves, don't even know who we are. We don't even know what is our nature. We don't even know we are unsure of that supreme, infinite, supreme personality of Godhead. We have no idea about anything. And whatever practice, spiritual practice, is completely watered down, diluted, and very confusing to all of us, including us. Why we go to a temple? Nobody has any clear idea. Why we stand? What is it I'm supposed to pray? Even that, nobody has any clear idea. We think that we can ask something of very little value, some temporary something, pass in the exam, get some marks, get a job or something. Something that is immediately haunting us, we go and ask. But we have no clue that in allopathy, they say there is something called symptomatic treatment. That means I treat the cold when I have a cold. I treat a body ache when I have a body ache. But I don't investigate why I'm getting cold, or I have a body ache, or I have fever or something. So this is symptomatically you treat something. So symptomatically we go and do something very superficial, spiritually also. And typically that ends up worshipping the devatas, or okay, accidentally, maybe you end up worshipping Vishnu or Krishna, but you you look at Krishna also as some kind of an ATM. How can he fulfill what should I do so the Lord does what I want him to do, what I want him to do. So that is the kind of world we are living in. And there is frustration because nobody likes to grow old. Nobody likes failure. Nobody likes loss. Nobody likes losing. And that keeps happening all the time. So there's frustration. So that's the material part of it. But actually, in this today's verse, um, Rishabhadeva is saying something very deep and profound. He's saying we have no right to be a father or a mother or a king or a leader or a teacher or a devata if I can't teach somebody about this, that there is a life without pain, without suffering, without without anxiety, without old age, without disease, without death at the lotus feet of Krishna. If you cannot teach this, you're not qualified. It's better you don't become a parent. Or if you don't know and you can't teach, at least send your kid to someone who can teach this knowledge. And if you don't want to do that, then you really have no right to bring another living entity into this world and leave him clueless, absolutely without any clue in this material world. No direction, no sense of purpose, direction, law, anything, no sense of dharma, karma, bhakti, anything. So you just let loose a living entity who will go about harming himself because he doesn't know what's good for him. So we really have no right. That's why in the previous verse said that you see someone, blind man, walking possibly into a ditch or into danger. How can you keep quiet? So that's what the parents are guilty of. They're keeping quiet. They're actually letting their children make a mess of their lives. So it's so important. And Prabhupada has the courage to point out the examples from the Vedic scriptures and says, just as Bharata rejected his mother, just as Bali Maharaj rejected Sukracharya. So, if we do not have parents who are guiding us to Krishna's lotus feet, teaching us about that our original home, our ultimate destination, the lotus feet of Krishna and this Vaikuntha planets that Krishna is manifested. If your parents are not willing to teach and not willing to let you go and learn this, you better not be a parent. So we otherwise it is wrong, completely wrong. Otherwise, how different is it from that of an animal producing some progeny? So, in other words, here in this verse, Prabhupada, by quoting the examples of Sukracharya, quoting the example of Bharat Maharaj, is actually uh, is actually giving license for all of us. He's giving permission for all of us, saying that it's not. Don't become sentimental. Don't think that if you reject your parents or reject some devatas or reject your teachers because they're not teaching you about Krishna, they're not teaching you about this world made by Krishna, the world where it's the Vaikuntha world made by Krishna, then you have the freedom to reject them. Just as Krishna says, just as the wives of the Brahmanas rejected their husbands because they came in the way of serving Krishna. And Krishna actually says, very nice, you have done this. Very good. And he appreciates the courage and the conviction of the wives of the Brahmanas because they broke away. And breaking away from husbands is no small thing. Actually, they didn't break away in one sense, they disobeyed the orders or the restrictions that their husbands were imposing in the Krishna pastime. The wives of the Brahmanas reject their husbands. And what were they doing? The husbands were doing, apparently, they were doing something which is considered very auspicious and Vedic. They were performing some homas. So Krishna says, Prabhupada said, they missed the whole point. That Krishna for whom they're actually performing the homa is standing in front of them and saying, please give me something. And they missed the whole point. They said, no, homa is not over. This is not over. We can't do. You're an upstart. You're a little kid, mischievous kid. How can you come and disturb us? But the wives of the Brahmanas realized that this is the Supreme Personality and his brother Baladev who have come and who want to bless us, who want to show their mercy, blessing, wish us good. And so they reject their husbands and they go away into the forest and want to serve Krishna. And Krishna likes that. Krishna congratulates them. Actually, Krishna congratulates in one sense. I mean, congratulation is a very mild word. Krishna deeply appreciates the gopis also. When they drop everything, including their own children, some of whom they were feeding, nursing and feeding, drops them and comes running to the forest when Krishna starts playing the flute. So they drop everything and come, and Krishna, the first thing he says is, wow, how much faith you have, how enlightened you are, how much you love me, how incredibly strong is your love and conviction to be with me and serve me, and please try to please me. That you have given up your children, your husband, your family, your father-in-law, your mother, everything, all of them, which are considered very valuable for the so-called karmis of this world. You have dropped all of them and come running to see me here in this forest in the middle of the night when I'm playing this flute. That's, Krishna actually says, it's very hard for me to repay you for what you have done. So when we give up something, Prabhupada says, give up something which is of a lower stature for something higher. Give up ordinary concepts of dharma, because the ultimate dharma is to serve and please Krishna. So when you give up the lower levels of understanding of dharma because you want to serve Krishna, and you want to serve Krishna and nobody else and nothing else except serve Krishna, and in the process you give away all other concepts of dharma, responsibility, it's everything you give up, because you don't want anything to come between you and Krishna. You really want to give everything that you have to Krishna, and for Krishna's praise, you give up anything and everything that comes in the way. Uh, and you have no other desire other than Krishna likes that very much. He likes that very much. So the point is, so what does Krishna do when someone wants to give up everything and surrender to Krishna, perform Sharanagati to Krishna? So in the Krishna book, there is one very interesting pastime, the pastime of Bhaumasura. It's a very interesting pastime because there were these 16,000 princes who were kidnapped by Bhaumasura. Very beautiful princesses. Were kidnapped and kept captive by Bhaumasura. And Bhaumasura had very notorious, devious plans about them. But in their heart, all of them wanted to give themselves to Krishna, worship Krishna, become wives, maid servants of Krishna. I don't think they even thought they could become wives. They were very happy if Krishna would accept them even as maid servants. 16,000. So one time when Krishna receives a message, a desperate message that is sent by them to Krishna, urging Krishna, please come and save us. This is our pathetic situation. We are imprisoned by Bhaumasura in this place, and Bhaumasura has fortified that place with so it becomes almost they say an impregnable fort. It's very difficult to penetrate that fort. It's kept us imprisoned there. Will you kindly come and save us? Like you have saved so many people in the past. And we heard that if you decide to save us, nobody can stop that from happening. So the interesting thing is, it is said that Krishna, as soon as he receives this message, he decides that so many of them are imprisoned. Krishna considers this as his solemn duty to go and rescue these princes and satisfy their desires. They wanted to offer themselves to Krishna completely as maid servants, and if Krishna so pleases, maybe as wives. But they said that they would be very happy even if Krishna accepts them as the servant of maid servants, whatever. So then the interesting thing in that pastime is that Krishna goes to attack. We will read that a little bit from the Krishna book pastime, and I'll tell you why it's so interesting to read. Just a minute. Just a minute. chapter 59, Krishna book. Yeah. So this demon, having become very powerful, took by force the umbrella from the throne of King demigod Varuna. He also took the earrings of Aditi. Imagine stealing the earrings of Aditi. He goes and steals the earrings of Aditi, the mother of the demigods. I think we are in Paro 2. No. Yeah, Paro 1. He also conquered the portion of the heavenly Mount Meru, known as Mani Parvata, occupied it. And the king of heavenly planets, Indra, therefore came to Dwarka to complain about Bhaumasura. So the story goes on. Hearing the complaint of Indra, the king of heaven, accompanied by his wife Satyabhama, immediately uh, started for the abode of Bhaumasura. The two of them rode on the back of Garuda, who flew them to Pragjotishapura. All right. So now it says here that first of all, there were four strongholds guarding the four directions of the city, which was well protected on all sides by formidable military strength. The next boundary was of a water canal all around the city, and in addition to the whole city was surrounded by electric wires. Wow, Krishna. Somebody is going around in this world saying they discovered electricity, but it seems like Krishna did that long before them. The next fortification was of anila, a gaseous substance. Looks like they also had chemical warfare those days. After this, there was a network of barbed wires constructed by the demon of the name Mura. The city appeared well protected even in terms of today's scientific advancement. When Krishna arrived, he broke all the strongholds to pieces by the strokes of his club and scattered the military strength here and there by constant onslaught of his arrows. With the celebrated Sudarshan Chakra, he counteracted the electrified boundaries, annihilated the canals of water and the gaseous boundary, and cut to pieces the electrified network fabricated by the demon Mura. By the vibration of his conch shell, he broke the hearts of the great fighters and also broke the fighting machines that were there. Similarly, he broke the walls around the city with his invincible club. The vibration of Krishna's conch shell sounded like thunderbolt at the time of dissolution of the whole cosmic manifestation. The demon Mura heard the vibration of the conch shell, awakened from sleep, came out to see what had happened. He had 5 heads and had long been living within the water. The Mura demon was as brilliant as the sun at the time of dissolution of the cosmos, and his temper was like blazing fire. The effulgence of his body was so dazzling that he was difficult to see with open eyes. When he came out, he first took out his trident and rushed at the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The demon Mura on his onslaught was like a big snake attacking Garuda. His angry mood was very severe, and he appeared ready to devour 3 worlds. First of all, he attacked the carrier of Krishna, Garuda, by whirling and then throwing a trident through his 5 mouths. He vibrated sounds like the roaring of a lion. These roaring vibrations spread all over the atmosphere until they extended all over the world and into outer space, up and down and out in 10 directions, rumbling throughout the entire universe. Krishna saw that the trident of Mura demon was rushing towards his carrier Garuda. Immediately, by a trick of his hand, he took 2 arrows and threw them towards the trident. Cutting it to pieces, simultaneously using many arrows, he pierced the mouth of the demon Mura. And when Mura demon saw himself outmaneuvered by the Supreme Personality, one immediately began to strike the Lord in great anger with his club. But the Lord, with his own club, but Lord Krishna, with his own club, broke the club of Mura to pieces before it could reach him. The demon, bereft of his weapon, decided to attack Krishna with his strong arms. But Krishna, with the aid of Sudarshana Chakra, immediately separated the demon's 5 heads from his body. The demon fell into the water, just as the peak of a mountain falls into an ocean after being struck by the thunderbolt of Indra. So the point is that um, how Krishna attacks Bhaumasura. Before that, he encounters Mura demon. So Krishna does all of that to protect his devotees. Now it's said that in the course of the battle, it is said that Mura demon was attacking Garuda, carrier of Vishnu. So now from one side we are seeing that Krishna, Bhagavatam, Rishabhadeva is saying that one should not be a parent, one should not be this, one should not be that, one should not be a teacher, one should not be a guru, one should not be, unless one can give somebody the knowledge of that there is another world called the Vaikuntha world at the lotus feet of Krishna, where there is no anxiety, no fear, no death, no old age, no disease, no cheating. I mean, this is happiness. It's just happiness. So if someone were to try, okay, maybe I didn't get the proper education from my parents, nor did my teachers, nor the demigods. Nobody seems to guide me how to go back to Krishna. But I'm going to try on my own. Am I going to try on my own? Like the wives of the Brahmanas went away and said, "We will serve Krishna." The gopis went away to serve Krishna. So Bali Maharaj rejected his guru and said, "No, please don't come in the way. I want to serve Vishnu. Please don't come." So let's say we all make up this mind and say, what can I do? This is Kali Yuga. Nobody seems to teach me properly, but I'm not going to give up. I'll try on my own. I want to be a devotee of Krishna. I want to get the shelter of Krishna. I want to serve him. I want to learn how to love him. I want to do this on my own. So how will Krishna reciprocate? How will Krishna deal with such a person who is coming on his own, with his own strength, with his own determination, wants to support, wants to be with Krishna, wants to serve Krishna, wants to engage in service of Krishna. So a typical example is like when someone dedicates, I mean, we understand that it's easier to become a devotee when we are guided by somebody who's already a devotee of Krishna, and we call that the Guru Parampara. But initially, maybe we just have a sentiment. It's something in our mind is telling, our Atma is saying, Paramatma is guiding from our previous life, that there's something right about this Hare Krishna movement, that Hare Krishna mantra that they want us to chant, the Bhagavatam. There's something very, very nice about them which appeals deep down in the core of my existence. Maybe it's appealing to my Atma or something. So once we try, once we want to come to Krishna, once we make that sankalpa, I want to try this out. I want to explore this. I want to try and become a devotee. How will Krishna work with us? What will Krishna do? So here we see that when this demon Mura is attacking Garuda, Krishna, uh, Krishna is extending himself so completely and is providing complete protection to Garuda, because Garuda is serving Krishna. Garuda is a devotee of Krishna. Garuda is a carrier of Vishnu. Garuda is taking Vishnu, and the Lord is engaging all his energies to protect Garuda from an attack by Mura demon. So much to the extent that he's even using his Sudarshana chakra, he's using his spears and arrows and destroying Mura, killing him, beheading him, cutting his arms and beheading him, destroying. So in order to protect Garuda, because Garuda is serving Vishnu, Garuda is a devotee of Vishnu, Garuda is the Vahana of Vishnu. So Krishna is actually demonstrating that before the encounter between Mura demon and Vishnu and Garuda happens, it said that Krishna actually breaks through. The Lord breaks through all the elaborate arrangements made by Bhaumasura or Mura to protect their kingdom of Maya. I mean, protect their own world, their samsara, whatever. So there is fortified electric wires, barbed wire fences, there is electricity, there is water bodies, there is so many other things, gas chambers. So very elaborate material arrangements are being made to protect their kingdom there. But Krishna just smashes through all of it because he wants to protect his devotees or rescue his devotees. Krishna just breaks through. So what we can understand is, if we even make a sankalpa that I want to be with you, Krishna, I want to serve you, I want to understand about you, I really want to read. I want to read the Bhagavad Gita. I find it difficult to understand the Gita, but I'm going to try again. I'll read again and again. or find somebody who can teach me. So if some living entity makes a sincere sankalpa, that I want to be with Krishna, I want to serve Krishna, then Krishna actually uh, goes out of the way to protect such living entity and to facilitate, to help that living entity make progress spiritually. I mean, progress spiritually, the generic term, help that living entity to become closer to Krishna. Ultimately, spiritual growth means becoming closer to Krishna. So the living and Krishna does everything. So he will. I mean, for us, the biggest hurdle is, we can say, ignorance. So the Lord will drive away ignorance by giving scriptures, the proper bona fide guru. Another hurdle that we face is attachment to the body and the products of the body. Krishna will do something even to so basically anything that comes in the way of a living entity wanting to surrender to Krishna, Krishna will remove. Krishna will help remove anything that comes in the way of a living entity wanting to dedicate himself to Krishna, surrender to Krishna, serve Krishna, learn about Krishna, love Krishna. Anything that comes in the way, Krishna destroys. Like it does in the description of how he smashes this fortress that has been built by Bhaumasura. He will smash, he will destroy in order to rescue even one living entity. Krishna drops playing this game of chess that he was doing in Dwarka, comes running to protect Draupadi from being disrobed. Even one living entity. Krishna drops, changes his whole schedule, everything, even to protect one living entity. So imagine, so it's the moment we make that sankalpa that I want to be with Krishna, I want to serve Krishna, I want to understand, I want to read about Krishna, Krishna's instructions, I want to engage in Krishna's service. I really want to learn how to love Krishna. Krishna removes all, maybe ignorance, maybe karma, maybe previous karma, maybe reactions of sinful activities, maybe even sinful tendencies. Everything Krishna will smash. Krishna will remove. Krishna will dissolve. Krishna will uh, Krishna will evaporate all of these and facilitate our progress towards bhakti, towards loving Krishna. Krishna won't let go. Once we make that sankalpa, which is why it is said that even once when a living entity, in the Ramayana it is mentioned, it's a very famous verse, I don't remember the verse, but a very famous verse, it says, if a living entity says once, chants the name of Lord Rama and saying, I'm yours, please protect me, I'm being tormented in this material world. It says that Lord Rama becomes eternally obliged to such a person, eternally obliged to such a person, and wants to rescue. And it is said that even if the living entity forgets that he made a prayer like that some time back, some lifetime, even then, Krishna, the Lord will not forget. So the main thing is, at least if we can have, I mean, in Kali Yuga, we cannot expect that our parents will teach us, our Guru will teach us. In the school, we learn about Bhakti and Krishna, how to serve Krishna. Uh, the demigods will teach us. No, nobody will. Don't expect any of this in the Kali Yuga. And when I say Guru, I mean ordinary Gurus that we encounter in our life. But there is still hope. The hope is the Guru Parampara. Only hope is Guru. Krishna operates through Guru Parampara. One strong, substantial way in which Krishna operates is Guru Parampara. But otherwise, Krishna is absolutely independent. He can choose to act or interfere in any living entity's spiritual journey through any means. That's completely at the discretion of Krishna. At time, place, circumstances, based on time, place, circumstances, Krishna chooses to interfere in living entity's life through Guru, through a book, through various means. And once that sankalpa we make, I want to try. I want to know about Krishna. I want to try. Let me see what it means. One life, let me try becoming your devotee. That's why Prabhupada says, you make this sankalpa that you have used billions of lives for yourself. One life, why don't you offer to Krishna? Try. If it doesn't work, go back to your previous lives. But you won't once you decide. So if one makes the sankalpa, then Krishna helps him. Krishna becomes an active partner, not a silent witnesser. Until then, the Paramatma's role is that of a silent witnesser. and Upadrishta Anumanta and Sanctioner. But the moment we make this prayer saying, I really want to know about Krishna, then Krishna, Paramatma, in the role of Paramatma, becomes an active partner. He guides, he helps, he protects, and like he did in numerous pastimes of destroying obstacles, and any forces that may come in the way of the spiritual progress of the living entity, Krishna removes. Actually, in some cases, Krishna also removes anything that may come in the way of material protection also, not just spiritually, even materially. Krishna protects. Uh, Krishna's protection is complete, absolute. Krishna's protection is so complete that you will not need to go to anybody else for some support, some additional protection. Once you're with Krishna, that's it. You don't have to go anywhere else. Mamupetya Kaunteya. Once you go to Krishna, then you don't have to go anywhere else. So, the thing is that somehow in Kali Yuga or practically any Yuga, we have to make that sankalpa saying, I want to become a devotee of Krishna, let me try this. I want to serve him. Maybe out of curiosity, maybe you're in distress, maybe you want money, maybe you're knowledgeable. Any of the four categories of people who go to Krishna. But if we make that sankalpa, make that effort, make that attempt, let me learn about Krishna. I've learned all my life I learned something. All millions of lifetimes I've learned so many things, and I'm still back to square one. When you're born, you're back to where you started from your previous life, materially speaking. You don't have any gain. There's no gain at all materially. No enduring gain. Everything will be destroyed by time. Everything will be taken away by time. You're back to square one. That whole English phrase is meant only for this. You die, you're back to square one. You're back to where you began. And then again, you start reading ABCD, IE or something. And then again, you see this material world, and then you get enamored by it, and then again you make the same mistakes that you did in the last life. I want a degree, I want this, I want a job, I want this, I want a wife, I want a husband, I want this, I want this. Before you know anything, you're dead and gone. Then again you begin. Puna puna charvita charvananam. Somehow, once, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, if a living entity decides, or is inspired, or is curious about Krishna, why are they worshipping this personality? Why is he so? Why do I feel like looking at him every day? Why is he so fresh and ever attractive? Why I never become tired of chanting Krishna's? What's there in him? Who is this person? What's there in this name? Somehow, out of curiosity or anything, once we make the sankalpa, then Krishna will come. Whichever part of the world you are, either he will come or he'll send a Messiah. Messiah means messenger, Acharya, Guru, a genuine Guru, a genuine Guru. Of course, we should have the courage to say, I don't want to be cheated in this life. I definitely don't want to be cheated. I've been cheated life after life by following what my parents have said, what my ordinary gurus, my colleagues, my friends have said. I've been cheated. What did I get? Nothing. Whatever I had slipped out of my hand. Finally, I became old, useless, diseased, and I died. That's all I got by following the advice that I have been receiving. And for that matter, even if you follow the Devatas, maybe you lose a lot more. Because if you follow the Devatas, maybe you'll get some wealth, you'll get some power, you'll get some authority, you'll get some this or that. Eventually, you lose even that. All of that, everything you lose. It's a losing bargain if you don't have Krishna in the equation. It is a completely losing bargain. But if you have Krishna, it's gain. It's win, win, win all the time. Krishna says, I provide what you like, preserve what you have, take you back to me. I'll bring you back to me. So, because the parents won't do their job properly, the gurus are not doing, the devatas are not doing, and nobody's revealing the scriptures. The scriptures are hidden from us. I mean, now of course, thanks to internet, and they're so widely available. But otherwise, you go home and start reading the Bhagavad Gita and chant Hare Krishna and then put on a tilak. Parents become nervous. They say, what are you trying to do? This is not to be done now. You should do when you're old or something. That's what they will say. So basically it's a world where everybody is trying to mislead everybody. There's that standard joke I've heard. There is this. Uh, there's a doctor. He's a psychiatrist. He's treating patients because they have depression, they have delusion, they have depression, they don't know what to do, they're suicidal, etc. Many people come to him. So then, as a part of his therapy, he'll say, "There's a circus in the town. Go to that circus. And there's a clown. There's a joker. Every circus has a clown. And you go, watch his performance. He cracks jokes and he's making fun and he laughs and makes everybody laugh. And so, it's good for you. See some sunshine and moonshine, and all you're seeing is darkness. So go and see the circus." So apparently it works. Many of them come back and say, "Yeah, I went to that circus. I saw that clown. It was good. It was nice. I feel better now. I feel this. I feel that." So the doctor starts giving this recommendation more often. More people come, and everybody says, "Go try that circus out. You won't feel so depressed. You'll feel nice about life." Something like that. And one day another patient comes and says, same thing. "I feel depressed. I no direction in my life, no purpose in my life. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I'm so depressed. I'm this and that." The doctor says, "Really? You know what? You should go to the circus and watch this show. Watch that clown acting." And this person doesn't react. He's silent. Sometimes he slowly whispers to the doctor, says, "You know what? I'm that clown." This sums up the material. Even the solutions that are offered, completely misleading. How can anybody give a solution other than Krishna or bona fide representative of Krishna? Who has the strength like Krishna has? In this description, he's smashing. Pura demon is beheaded, 5 heads gone, arms are cut. All the fortified, impregnable fortress is smashed to dust. So all we have to do is that Sankalpa, Krishna, please. I am surrounded by demons. Actually, these demons are inside me, not outside. You should have the honesty and courage to admit this. Say, the demons are, I'm restless, I'm lusty, I'm greedy, I am hungry. Hungry means not for eating, hungry for success, hunger for success and worship and respect. Everything. These are my demons. And I'm so worried. I want to succeed more than anybody else. I'm envious also. These are the demons in me. Like Krishna smashed everything. Krishna will smash this also. Krishna will also smash attachment. Like the wives of the Brahmanas, they just dissolved their attachment for their family, their husbands, for sometimes was dissolved, came and served Krishna. And Krishna liked it. Actually, we belong only to Krishna. Everything else is a myth, is a farce, is a joke, is a myth. Me, my club, my RCB, KKR, whatever, I don't know. So many clubs and so many things are happening in this world. These are all myth. This is it's like that doctor telling that people who come go and see the clown. So somebody saying go and watch a game or watch this or become a fan of this or that or this person, that person, something else. You'll become happy. How can somebody who is suffering give you happiness? Only person who's not, well, whose source of happiness is Krishna. So you connect yourself to Krishna. That's when you become happy. So the parents' first job is to connect their children to Krishna. Connect them to Krishna. If they don't do, then go ahead, make your own choice. Nothing wrong. Legally, you have to wait till you're 18 or something. But, but, but actually, you don't have to wait. As soon as you can find someone who's teaching you about Krishna, grab that knowledge, take that mantra, Hare Krishna, start chanting. I mean, you don't have to broadcast to the whole world, especially at home, make your life more complicated. And pray to Krishna and say, you did so much. You killed the Mura demon, you killed Baumasura, you rescued 16,000, and you blessed them, you made them your maid, they wanted to be maid servants, you made them your wives. They would have been happy if they were maid servants. But you made them your wives, Krishna. What about me? What about me? Will that mercy extend to me also? We can pray. It's all right. Nothing wrong. We can ask Krishna to do something for us so that we become closer to Him. We worship Him. There's no obstacle. In our process of understanding of Krishna, of worshiping Krishna, loving Krishna, pray to Krishna. It's your right. It's Krishna. For Krishna, it's a very pleasurable task. Come down to rescue a living entity, embrace him or her. Says, come back, my child. I've been waiting. What took you so long? It is our right. It is Krishna's pleasurable task. Come back come to us. Remove all. So I told you, in this age, for that matter, any age, it's attachment, power, authority, beauty, strength, intelligence, family, wealth. They have attachment. So Krishna he'll do what he has to do to remove all of this from our lives. He will do, just as he did in the case of these 16,000. Removed everything, every obstacle. It seemed like a hopeless situation. They were condemned. They were thrown in prisons. The worst kind of prison seemed hopeless except for clinging on to this hope that someday Krishna will come and rescue them and accept their prayer that they want to become maid servants. Krishna won't let go. Krishna will do whatever is required to pick you up. And the principal way in which he does that in Kali Yuga is Guru Parampara. Through the Guru Parampara and through the scripture, through the holy name. Actually, Guru Parampara. Krishna's mercy, Krishna's mystical power, energy manifests in this world through Guru Parampara. My agent, my representative. The expansion of Paramatma in every living entity's heart is Guru. And Guru, actually in one place, Prabhupada mentions something very astounding. When there was a discussion once about how the spreading of the Hare Krishna movement in the Western world, how Bhaktivinoda Thakura made the first attempt in 1896 by dispatching his books, Life and Precepts of Lord Chaitanya. One more book, two books he sends to the Western world, McGraw University, different universities, he ships them. And Prabhupada says, by coincidence, it was the year of my birth, 1896. That's the year in which Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent. Then, in the course of conversation with his early set of disciples, I'm talking about 1969 or 1970, 1968, 69, as soon as that book was discovered in the library, that book was discovered in the library in Canada, Vancouver or something, Toronto, Vancouver, one of the two cities. They discovered that book in the library. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur had dispatched books to many libraries in the world. So there is this discussion that Prabhupada is so happy to see that book and says, I was also born in the same year, 1896, and so on. And then there's a discussion saying that Prabhupada is saying Bhaktivinoda Thakur was such a great Acharya, was a very powerful Vaishnava. Actually, Prabhupada says all Vaishnavas are powerful. All Vaishnavas are powerful. Bhaktivinoda Thakur especially so, because he was an empowered Acharya who wrote books. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the first one who brought about a renaissance of Lord Chaitanya's teachings, because they started getting eroded in the society by very many apasampradayas, like what we see here. Gurus who don't know about Krishna, gurus who can't teach you about Krishna, who are mixed up, who are enamored by samsara. So they diluted the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So Prabhupada said Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so powerful, so empowered, such an extraordinary soul that he could have done it himself, preaching in the Western world, or he could have made it happen during his time itself. And then Prabhupada says something very nice. Prabhupada says that He left it for us, for all of us to do it. He didn't do it because he left it for us. He knew somebody else will come. He left it for us. Otherwise, he could have done it himself. But Prabhupada then says, Bhaktivinoda Thakura and all Vaishnavacharyas are so powerful that simply by willing and wishing, they can make things happen. Simply by their sankalpa, by their wishing, by their willing, by their desire, by the purity of their desire, Krishna would have been obliged to do it. But he left it for us. So, Guru, Vaishnava, scriptures, the holy name are very, very powerful. That's the only string of hope for someone who's drowning in the ocean. Hold on to the string and come out. So, whatever Krishna did during his physical presence, he now, in a sense, he empowers the gurus to rescue living entities from the world of samsara, world of fruitive entanglement. Entanglement is painful because any entanglement will ultimately result in frustration. Anything in the material world will result in disappointment, frustration. But when we get entangled with Krishna, that's different. So whatever Krishna did physically, you could say in one sense he manifests through the Guru Parampara. And Prabhupada acknowledges that, saying Vaishnavas are very powerful. Simply by their willing, by their feeling, by their wishing, by their sankalpa, by their desire, could have happened. Bhaktivinoda Thakur could have transformed the whole world. He could have done that, but he left it behind for us to do. It's not a metaphorical statement to encourage his disciples, but it's a fact. Vaishnavas the point is that Vaishnavas are powerful. So Prabhupada is rescuing us, like Krishna rescued. Prabhupada is rescuing us from the world. Just as Krishna rescued the 16,000, he's rescuing millions of people through his books, through his institution. Maybe many, many, many more. Krishna rescued 16,000, but Krishna empowered Prabhupada to rescue millions, billions, maybe eventually maybe billions, to rescue and bring them back home, bring them back to Krishna's lotus feet. So while it appears hopeless that the parents are not doing their duty, the demigods don't, there is hope. That hope is Prabhupada. That hope is Guru Parampara. That hope is the institution, Iskcon. That hope is the books of Srila Prabhupada. We just have to cling on and make that one sankalpa, like the wives of Krishna, the Brahmanas did. I want to serve you, Krishna. And stick to it. Krishna will facilitate, make it happen in such a way that he opens the door, but we need to walk in. We need to walk. Removes obstacles, but we need to walk also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Sankalpa.
I just wanted to understand one thing, Prabhu. You've been using this word sankalpa quite often. You linked it with the Brahmana Patni stories, that they had a desire and then Krishna manifested. Some other stories also that you linked up. So I was just curious to understand, because Krishna, sankalpa means it can be a passing thought also sometimes. And it can also be a very strong desire also. As you said desire is also sankalpa. So I was just wondering, just by having a desire, will Krishna act in such a exceptional way that if he removes all the roadblocks? Is it only for pure devotees like Brahmana Patnis? Maybe I was thinking that they were pure devotees and their sankalpa was strong, and Krishna had to act. As you said, he gets attracted by those kind. But how about other devotees who are practicing newly? Is it just the sankalpa, or is it something else also that comes? Because
okay, I got you.
You got the point, right?
I got your question. So, sankalpa may be feeble, sankalpa may be fleeting, sankalpa may be superficial, sankalpa may not be sincere, the sankalpa may not be very deep. So, will it still work? Actually, this is the normal logic in this world. The normal logic is you need to make some effort. You need to come under the four categories: either the curious, the distressed, one who is seeking wealth, or one who is knowledgeable. And then you get the mercy, Krishna. You get to Krishna. You go to Krishna. That's the normal logic. I mean, that's the normal process by which you go to Krishna. And among them, the one who is situated in knowledge, obviously, Sankalpa is the strongest, deepest, and strongest. So, yes, a lot of things depend on the sincerity, the intensity of the Sankalpa, the determination, the, the strength of the desire to, I want to become purified, I want to serve Krishna, I want to know Krishna, I want to dedicate myself to Krishna, all that. But in a very strange way, Lord Chaitanya turns this upside down. He turns it upside down. And it is repeatedly mentioned that the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is causeless. That means sometimes it even transcends the basic requirement of having a sankalpa also. It transcends. That is the special mercy exclusively given out to the people of this world for a certain period of time, at the time when Lord Chaitanya appears, which is why his mercy is called causeless. It is not invoked. It does not become a reality. It does not manifest primarily because of the sankalpa trigger. It's not triggered by sankalpa. It's not triggered by desire. It's triggered by the desire of Lord Chaitanya. It is the sankalpa of the Lord. It is the desire of the Lord, sankalpa of the Lord, the plan of the Lord to rescue everybody, to save everybody. And the Lord's sankalpa will never fail. And he does that when Krishna does that, when he is covered, or he takes on the quality of Audarya from Radharani. Otherwise, normally speaking, what do you say? That's the normal process. You have to do sadhana, Vedi sadhana, etc., etc. But potentially speaking, Lord Chaitanya has in fact turned it upside down. Things that are happening now are because of Lord Chaitanya's sankalpa, and that sankalpa is kept alive by the Guru Parampara. Lord Nityananda, it said that Lord Nityananda is even more compassionate than Lord Chaitanya and the Guru Parampara. So when the Guru Acharya, who is empowered, mercifully glances, whether or not I have that sankalpa, it will the power of the glance of the Guru, compassionate glance, Audharya filled glance of Guru Krishna, Guru and Lord Chaitanya and this parampara, that can work miracles. So theoretically, academically, we know that even the basic requirement of a sankalpa can be set aside by the Lord. But okay, so then why do we make that sankalpa? So we don't have to make the sankalpa. We'll eventually be rescued anyway. What's the need for me to make sankalpa? What's the need for me to be careful, follow, regularly, whatever? Whether I do anything or not, I can still, by the mercy of the Lord's merciful glance, by the power of the Lord's merciful glance, Mahaprabhu's mercy, I can be rescued. But we are not like that, because somehow at some point of time, we develop, the living entity has the natural inclination to develop, to perform bhakti. Bhakti means loving devotional service towards Krishna. And we develop some gratitude towards, when we read about Lord Chaitanya, we develop gratitude towards Guru, Krishna, Guru Parampara. And hence we motivate ourselves. It automatically we get motivated to follow. Which is why it is said that when someone is liberated, he cannot take the credit and say, I am a great sadhaka, I am a great Vaidhi Bhakti, I am great at this, I was very diligent, I was very this, I was very that, and which is why I got liberated today. No, he can't take the credit. It is just the mercy of the Lord. Whether you have actually gained the qualification to become liberated, it's up to the Lord. By his discretion, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, you can still go back to Godhead, even though you may not be, shall we say, technically qualified. That's the mercy of the Lord. That's the mercy of the Guru Parampara. But it's the natural inclination of the living entity to perform sadhana bhakti Because that's what we are. Krishna Swarup, Jiver Swarupai Krishna Nitya Das. We are doing that. Our constitutional position is awakened even by one glance of a Guru, Acharya, of Lord Chaitanya. And we are performing bhakti out of our own volition, our own sankalp, our own desire. But whether we achieve perfection through our individual efforts or not, the Lord Chaitanya's mercy is guaranteed. Whether we achieve perfection, whether we can achieve perfection or not, the Lord's mercy is guaranteed. So whatever is happening because of the sankalpa of the Lord, not so much because of our sankalpa. I hope I was able to explain. It is right now in this age, it is the sankalpa of Lord Chaitanya which is making things happen the way they are happening, not us. And that carry forward by the Guru Parampara. They're absolutely powerful. They're the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. They desire and it shall happen. Right now, Lord Chaitanya has designed that everybody should become devotees. And that is what is happening. Whether I have that sankalpa or not. Good question. Thank you. Any other question? Which way it is said that this window of opportunity, 10,000 years, is a great respite, is a great opportunity. When no pre-qualification is insisted upon, no pre-qualification, no qualification is also insisted upon by the mercy of, by the will of Lord Chaitanya and his representatives. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jagat Guru Pati Pavan Srila Prabhupada